So here it is, guys. This is a highly requested video that I've been waiting to do for you guys for SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. What's up, everybody? Fortexfiend here. Welcome to another video for SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the best free SSR units that you should be considering to build and develop. Before we get started, I want to once again thank my SD Gundam Meisters in my Discord. That is a Discord role I gave to a group of guys that are fantastic, very knowledgeable about the game, who helped me compile this list together. There's a lot of SSR units, and not every SSR unit, of course, is going to be making it to this list. So we wanted to narrow it down to hopefully help you guys out in determining which ones you should be building. Now, I do have some quick TLDRs that I do want to go over before we go ahead and get started with this list. The first one is, remember, this is the free SSR units that we're going to be talking about. We're not talking about the Gacha SSRs because I already did that on a separate video. So if you want to watch that one, that's on my YouTube channel. But we're only going to be solely focusing on the free SSR units. I am also not going to be including the alt SSR units because they're unique in a sense, in that you have to earn them by completing the development trees, and then afterwards they have access to be upgraded or changed into a UR unit version of them. So they're different, so I'm not going to be including them on this list. Even though they're technically free SSRs, they're just a little bit different. And third, I also want to point out that unfortunately, Gundam G-Quux is not going to be a part of this list. I know G-Quux early on was a really powerful option, but when you look at G-Quux objectively, it's really only strong when Machu is the pilot, because Machu does have that passive where if she's piloting pretty much, a G-Quux mobile suit, she'll have that double chance step, kind of similar to like Setsuna or Char, except hers is restricted. So that's the only reason why G-Quux is not going to be on this list. So letting you guys know right now, that mobile suit is not on here, only because it's very restricted to that pilot to really make use out of it. But without further ado, enough talking, let's go ahead and move forward and get on with this list. I'm going to be starting off with our durability units with Providence Gundam. So Providence Gundam has excellent damage reduction options. It has 2 in the form of shield defense and reduced physical damage taken. It also has an increased HP passive, giving it more HP, which is fantastic for a tanking type unit. It has good move at 5. It can be deployed in AU and Seed Expert Eternal Road stages, which is fantastic because we want options for those Expert Eternal Road stages because they are content or restricted content when it comes to tackling those harder stages, when it comes to the units that you got to choose. So we're starting things off with Providence Gundam. Next, we're going to be moving forward with Tall Geese 2, one of my favorites, and a lot of Gundam Wing fans love this unit. It has good move at 5. Its Dobergun is a 4-range weapon skill with a 25% attack down debuff, which is fantastic. I've used that debuff at range over and over, and I absolutely love it. It also has increased defense and evasion with its passive. So this is a fantastic free-to-play SSR durability unit. Next, we have the O. So the O has good move at 5, and despite having no damage reduction passives, this thing is surprisingly tanky, and I've tested this thing out on my free-to-play account, and I was thoroughly impressed at how tanky it was. And I actually used this unit on my expert stage 1 Eternal Road, and it actually did pretty well for me, so I was pretty impressed. It has a 3-range weapon skill that inflicts a 30% attack down debuff, and it's a great durability option again for that UC Expert Eternal Road stage. We have the O right here. And finally, for our tanking type units, we have the GN Arms Type E. This thing has good move at 5, has a 4-range weapon skill that inflicts a 30% attack down debuff, and also has a 4-range nuke with decent power at 5400. Mind you, that's at level 5 weapon upgrade, but still, for a durability unit to have something of that power is pretty solid in my opinion. That's pretty cool that it has that. So that is going to be GN Arms Type E. We're going to go ahead and go over our supporter units now, kicking things off with a very popular Wing Gundam Zero. Has good move at 5, has access to a fantastic map attack. It also has a 5-range weapon skill that inflicts a 30% increased beam damage taken, and those particular weapon, increased damage taking debuffs are really, really good, especially when you're using a particular team or you're taking a specific party to, like, let's say Eternal Road Expert or even Hard, and you want to be able to inflict that specific damage type, increased damage taken debuff. It also has access to a 4-range weapon skill that inflicts a 20% defense down debuff. So 20% is not the greatest, but it has that as an option in case there is no defense down debuff inflicted on an enemy yet. And one thing that I did forget to mention, this thing can transform, although when you take a look at the stats and what it has access to in its transformed state, it's definitely not as good as in its mobile suit state, but it does have increased mobility, which later on that comes into factor when PvP rolls around at the end of the month. So starting this off with supporter, we got the Wing Gundam Zero. Next, we have the Perfect Strike Gundam. This thing has good move at 5, has a 5-range weapon skill that inflicts a 30% increased beam debuff taken. Also has a 3-range weapon skill that inflicts a 20% increased physical damage taken debuff. And it has 2 damage reduction passes for added survivability, which is pretty cool seeing that this thing is a supporter role. So if you want to put like a durability pilot on this, because I have seen that that's very popular, especially with like expert and hard content, you could do it with that. And it does have a bit of survivability despite it not being an actual durability unit. Next, we have Gundam Astray Blue Frame 2nd L. One thing to note is that this is currently only obtainable through the event that is still live upon the making of this video. When the event does go away, you will lose access to this unit if you didn't develop it. However, knowing Gacha games, they will definitely bring this unit back. So for those of you that miss out, this unit will come back. But for a free unit, it has good move at 5, has access to a 4-range weapon skill that inflicts a 25% increased special damage taken debuff, and that's rare. We've seen physical, we've seen beam, now we're seeing special, and this is one of the very few units that can actually inflict that. It also has access to a 2-ranged weapon skill that inflicts a 25% increased physical damage taken debuff. So that is Gundam Astray Blue Frame 2nd L. Next, we have the Shadow Gundam from G Gundam with a good move at 5. It has access to a 4-ranged weapon skill that inflicts a 30% increased physical damage taken debuff. And keep in mind, the G Gundam Dev Tree, where this unit comes from, is one of the very few sources to gain access to the 30% increased physical damage taken, because we've seen like 25%, we've seen 20%, this one has 30. So if you want access to the 30%, this is one way to earn it for free through the G Gundam Dev Tree. Next, we have the Red Gundam. So this is an event unit that we did get to earn for free. Currently, right now, upon the making of this video, this unit is not available to earn right now for those players that didn't get a chance to play it, but it will roll around later, as they do with every gacha with these events. So this unit has access to a 5-range weapon skill that inflicts a 30% defense down debuff, and it also has access to shield defend passive for some survivability. And I did talk about this unit a little bit, having synergy with the SSR Char Aznable pilot that we got. And because Char Aznable is a durability type pilot, and this thing has access to shield defend, when it actually defends, assuming you're using this with Char, you'll get that reduced damage, which is pretty cool considering that this is a supporter unit. Next, we have Zeta Gundam. So Zeta Gundam has access to a 5-range weapon skill that inflicts a 30% defense down debuff. Pretty much the exact same thing as Red Gundam. It also has access to shield defend passive for some survivability, and it can transform if needed for slightly better range on its weapon skills, a better mobility stat, and it actually does get a 5 move versus its 4 move when it's in its mobile suit form. So this is going to be Zeta Gundam. And then we have Freedom Gundam Meteor. So this thing has good move at 5. It has a fantastic map attack that also inflicts an AoE 20% defense down debuff, which is amazing considering that most map attacks just deal damage. This one actually also debuffs, which is fantastic. It has access to a 5-range weapon skill that inflicts a 30% defense down debuff, and it's extremely useful for Expert Seed Eternal Road, where there's going to be tons of enemies. Because remember, for that one, you have Wave 1. When you clear Wave 1, Wave 2 comes around, and there's like way more enemies. So if you have access to like multiple map attacks, and this unit is fantastic for that, it is a very, very good option for that particular stage. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our attacking type mobile suit units, kicking things off with a unit from Gundam Wing, which is Altron Gundam. This Gundam has good move at 5. It is a solid range damage dealer, and it does have access to a 5400 power 4-range physical attack that also has 20% increased crit damage. And increased crit damage is awesome because if you do actually crit, that's the type of damage that generally cannot be mitigated, and that's usually a functionality in most gacha games, which is the case here. So this is a fantastic option for a solid range damage dealer. The next one is going to be another Gundam Wing representative, which is a fan favorite in Gundam Epyon. Also has good move at 5, has a powerful nuke at 5400 power that increases in damage the closer you are, up to 15%. If you guys have watched one of my showcase runs with like Gundam Wing units, I used Epyon, and Epyon is really fun to use, very mobile, and does a lot of damage for a free unit. It can also transform if needed for increased mobility stat, and it also has increased attack and critical damage from its passive. So one of my favorite free units, undoubtedly. I love this thing. If you guys have the chance to build it, please do so. This is a really, really good attacking type unit. Next, we have Justice Gundam Meteor. So this has good move at 5. It also has access to a great map attack and has increased attack and physical damage reduction from its passives. So this is yet again another very useful unit for the Expert Seed Eternal Road stage. So there's several now because of the whole Gundam Seed content that we got, and this is definitely one that you should consider to build, considering that Eternal Road is restricted to specific units from like specific series or tags. So this is a great one to use. And finally, rolling out with our attacking units for free SSRs, we have the Gundam Astray Gold Frame Amatsu. This is yet again from that limited event that we currently have live right now upon the making of this video. If you don't get a chance to build it now, it should roll around as with all events do with gachas. So if you miss out, don't worry. But this thing, I've talked about it before, great move at 5, has access to a great map attack, which that is good with the new stages we got. It's also a really fantastic welfare damage dealer with increased crit damage and increased close range damage on 2 of its weapon skills. And it also has increased attack and accuracy on its passives. And it also has a shield defend. And I talked highly of this unit when I first saw it, and I was like, this thing is really strong for something that we get for free. So if you have the chance to build it, you still have a few more days left, again, upon the making of this video. If you do miss out, it will leave, but you should have another chance to get it once they do roll that event around. And that is going to go ahead and conclude this video for the best free SSR units. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this list. If your SSR unit that you earned for free did not make it to the list, we're sorry, but we had to narrow it down. But if you think, we overshadowed one or we should have talked about one, we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. It's so much fun talking about this game because there's just so many units. There's so many different party combinations, so many ways to get creative, especially with a development tree. So let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it from you guys. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video and stay blessed, everybody.